Welcome back to our channel, The Historical Records. Today, we have a truly captivating topic to explore: the Battle of Bouvines, a clash of thrones and empires. The year was 1214, and Europe was a continent embroiled in conflict and power struggles. It was an era of kings and emperors, knights and castles, and a constant quest for dominion and glory. In the heart of this medieval turmoil, the Battle of Bouvines unfolded, a pivotal moment in European history that would shape the destiny of nations for years to come. This narrative will take you on a journey through the events leading up to the Battle of Bouvines, the battle itself, and its far-reaching consequences. It was a clash of thrones and empires. A contest of wills between some of the most formidable rulers of their time. Join us as we step back in time to witness the drama, intrigue, and bloodshed of this historic confrontation. In the early 13th century, Europe was divided into a patchwork of feudal states, each ruled by its own lord or monarch. At the heart of this political mosaic lay the Holy Roman Empire, a sprawling realm that stretched from Germany to Italy. Its ruler, Emperor Otto IV, was a man with grand ambitions and a desire to expand his power. However, Otto IV faced a formidable adversary in the form of King Philip II of France. Philip, known as Philip Augustus, was a shrewd and cunning monarch who sought to strengthen the authority of the French crown. The stage was set for a clash of titans. One of the key flashpoints in this rivalry was the disputed territory of Flanders, a wealthy and strategically vital region in modern-day Belgium and northern France. Flanders was a center of commerce and trade, and its cities were among the most prosperous in Europe. Both Philip and Otto coveted control of this valuable prize. As tensions simmered over Flanders, both Philip and Otto began to seek allies among the other European powers. Philip forged a crucial alliance with King John of England, who was eager to regain territories in France that had been lost to the French crown. This alliance was sealed with the marriage of John's niece, Blanche of Castile, to Philip's heir, Louis. Meanwhile, Otto IV secured the support of the German princes and the English barons who were dissatisfied with John's rule. The stage was set for a complex web of alliances, with various factions vying for supremacy. In addition to the French and English, Philip also sought the support of his vassals and allies within France. Among them was Renaud de Dampmartin, a powerful noble who controlled territories in northern France. However, Renaud's loyalty was far from certain, as he had his own ambitions and grievances. By the summer of 1214, the stage was set for a decisive confrontation. Philip II had assembled a formidable army, drawing upon the resources of his kingdom and his allies in England. Otto IV, on the other hand, had gathered a coalition of German and English forces, along with a contingent of Flemish knights. The two armies converged on the small town of Bouvines, located in northern France, not far from the city of Lille. Bouvines would become the battlefield where their fates would be decided. The French army was commanded by Philip himself, a seasoned warrior and strategist. He was determined to protect his kingdom and assert his dominance over the Holy Roman Empire. On the opposing side, Otto IV led his forces, accompanied by his ally, Renaud de Dampmartin. The stage was set for a clash that would echo through the annals of history. On the fateful morning of July 27, 1214, the two armies faced each other across the fields of Bouvines. The air was thick with tension as knights in shining armor, infantrymen with spears and shields, and archers with their deadly longbows awaited the signal to engage. Banners fluttered in the breeze, each side displaying its heraldry and colors. The battle began with a clash of cavalry charges. The knights, mounted on powerful destriers, thundered towards each other with lances lowered. The ground shook as the two sides collided, the sound of metal upon metal and the cries of men and horses filling the air. It was a brutal and chaotic melee, with knights jousting and grappling in the dust and mud. The English longbowmen, known for their deadly accuracy, unleashed a storm of arrows upon the French ranks. The sky darkened as the arrows flew, finding their marks among the French foot soldiers. The French, in turn, launched their own counterattacks, with infantry and crossbowmen pushing forward to engage the enemy. Amidst the chaos, Renaud de Dampmartin led a charge against the French center. It was a bold move, an attempt to break through the enemy lines and strike at Philip himself. The fighting was fierce, and Renaud's knights fought valiantly. However, they were met with stubborn resistance from the French. As the battle raged on, King Philip Augustus made a daring move that would prove decisive. He ordered a contingent of his knights to feign a retreat, luring a portion of the enemy forces away from the main battle. Otto IV, seeing an opportunity to crush what he believed to be a retreating foe, took the bait and pursued the fleeing French. Unbeknownst to Otto, Philip had positioned a reserve force behind a ridge, hidden from view. As the Holy Roman Emperor's troops pursued the retreating French, they suddenly found themselves attacked from the rear by Philip's hidden reserve. It was a devastating blow, and the Holy Roman Empire's forces were caught in a deadly pincer movement. The battle teetered on a knife's edge as the two sides fought fiercely. The cries of "Montjoy Saint Denis" rang out among the French, a rallying cry in honor of their patron saint, Saint Denis. The battle hung in the balance, with the outcome uncertain. In the midst of the chaos, Renaud de Dampmartin was captured by the French. This proved to be a turning point, as his capture demoralized the remaining Holy Roman Empire forces. With their leader in captivity, many of Renaud's knights surrendered or fled the battlefield. The English, too, faced difficulties. King John's baggage train, laden with treasure and supplies, was captured by the French. This loss further sapped the morale of the English forces. As the day wore on, it became clear that victory belonged to Philip Augustus and the French. Otto IV's forces were in disarray, and he himself barely escaped capture. The Battle of Bouvines had been a resounding success for the French king, a triumph that solidified his authority and expanded the borders of his kingdom. The aftermath of the Battle of Bouvines was profound. Philip II emerged as one of the most powerful monarchs in Europe, consolidating his rule over a vast kingdom that stretched from the English Channel to the Pyrenees. His victory also marked a turning point in the struggle between the monarchs and their vassals, as the French king's authority was greatly strengthened. For Otto IV, the defeat at Bouvines was a crushing blow to his ambitions. It not only shattered his dream of expanding the Holy Roman Empire's influence but also weakened his grip on power within the empire itself. His defeat further strained his relations with the German princes who had supported him, as they began to question his ability to lead. In the wake of the battle, Otto IV and Philip II entered into negotiations. The Treaty of Bouvines, signed in 1214, formally ended the conflict. While Otto retained his title as Holy Roman Emperor, he agreed to recognize Philip's control over Flanders and other disputed territories. It was a diplomatic victory for Philip, who had not only won on the battlefield but had also secured his gains through negotiation. The consequences of the Battle of Bouvines rippled across Europe. The power balance between the Holy Roman Empire and the Kingdom of France shifted decisively in favor of the French monarchy. Philip Augustus's reign marked the beginning of a period of centralization and consolidation of power in France, laying the foundation for the strong French state that would emerge in the centuries to come. The battle also had implications for England. King John's loss at Bouvines, coupled with the loss of his baggage train, weakened his position and contributed to the ongoing discontent among his barons. This discontent would eventually culminate in the sealing of the Magna Carta in 1215, a document that curtailed the powers of the English monarch and established certain legal rights and principles that would shape the development of constitutional government. Furthermore, the Battle of Bouvines demonstrated the evolving nature of medieval warfare. It highlighted the importance of strategic planning, deception, and the use of combined arms tactics. The use of the English longbow in the battle showcased the increasing effectiveness of ranged weaponry on the battlefield, foreshadowing changes in military technology and tactics in the centuries to come. The Battle of Bouvines was not just a military engagement but a pivotal moment in the history of Europe. It marked the ascendancy of the French monarchy and the decline of the Holy Roman Empire as a dominant European power. The battle's impact resonated far beyond the 13th century, shaping the course of European history for generations to come. Philip II of France's legacy was one of consolidation and centralization. His reign saw the expansion of royal authority, the strengthening of the French monarchy, and the establishment of a more cohesive and centralized state. The Treaty of Bouvines ensured that the gains he made on the battlefield were legally recognized, setting a precedent for future negotiations between monarchs. The battle also underscored the importance of alliances and diplomacy in medieval Europe. Philip's ability to secure the support of the King of England, despite their previous conflicts, demonstrated the fluid nature of medieval politics. Alliances shifted as rulers pursued their interests, and the Battle of Bouvines illustrated how critical these alliances could be on the battlefield. In the centuries following Bouvines, the balance of power in Europe continued to shift, leading to the Hundred Years' War, the rise of the Habsburgs, and the eventual emergence of modern nation-states. The battle's tactical lessons, especially the effectiveness of ranged weapons like the longbow, influenced the development of military technology and strategy in subsequent eras. The Battle of Bouvines was a clash of thrones and empires that left an indelible mark on the history of Europe. It was a battle of strategy, courage, and determination, with far-reaching consequences for the kingdoms and empires involved. Philip II of France emerged as a triumphant monarch, while Otto IV of the Holy Roman Empire saw his dreams of expansion crumble. Bouvines was more than a military confrontation, it was a turning point that shaped the political landscape of medieval Europe. It demonstrated the significance of diplomacy alongside military might and laid the groundwork for the development of stronger, more centralized states. As we reflect on this historic battle, we are reminded of the enduring legacy of the past and its impact on the course of human events.